Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of December 14th through the 20th. And during that time, we'll have a waxing crescent moon, which is a really good time of surrender, rest, and healing. So, make sure you're just relaxing, let go a little bit, take that extra nap, rest. We're trying to get ready for the new cycle ahead, which starts on the 20th with the new moon. And of course, that's a good time for a fresh start, new beginnings, time to really start any work that you've been wanting to do, either inner or outer work, for the next cycle, things that you really want to work on. So, good time to make new decisions and start those new things. So, keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not account. What am I trying to say? Encounter was the word I was looking for this week, Aquarius. So please keep that in mind and take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this particular reading: you're very close to achieving your goal. Okay, let's see what that goal might be about for this week for you. As I'm shuffling the tarot, I would like to say that since my readings are free to you, Aquarius, all that I ask in return is that you hit that subscribe button. It really helps my channel, and it is super easy for you to do. Just make sure that you're logged into Google or YouTube, and then you can hit subscribe, and you'll be able to find me next week, which would be awesome for me and you, I believe. So I will give you just a moment to do that right now as I'm shuffling the tarot cards. Thank you so, so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you for coming back and helping me build a community here. I see you. I see people that are returning back every week to see their readings, and I do appreciate you. So thank you so, so much. All right, let's get into this reading. Aquarius, December 14th through the 20th. You're very close to achieving your goal. Your present energy right now is the Knight of Pentacles. So, some sort of action here on the material front. This could be something having to do with money, a job. This could just be you spending some money this week. This could be, just anything having to do with the material, and it's just a card of action. So, material things, money, that sort of thing. There's going to be some action on that front for you this week. Your current situation is the Magician. So, looks like you're kind of in a place of maybe a new awareness or a new I said we're in kind of this rest and healing phase, but we're also approaching that new moon, which means that you're going to, here's the Magician asking you, what do you want to change this month about your life? Oh, excuse me, sneeze just snuck right up on me. This is, and you might, while you're resting and relaxing, this is something you may want to be thinking about. Like I said, as you're approaching, as we get closer to the new moon, is, what is it? Are you trying to change something this month or this cycle about your romantic life or your emotional life or your financial life? You may be, changing a job situation, or, looking at moving up at your current job. It may be something about communication that you want to, or something about your intellect, either learning something new or being a better communicator at something, or something on the passion realm, something that you're very passionate about that you want to do more of or make a change with. So, here's the Magician asking you right at the right time, really, right? With this new moon that comes in, what is it that you want to change this week? So you need to ask yourself that question as well. At the root of your situation is you're feeling a little bit celebratory here with the Six of Wands. You're feeling like you're getting a little bit of recognition for some job well done somewhere in some part of your life. There's people that are saying, hey, I see you, I notice you. Maybe this is at work, maybe it's friends and family. Maybe you've had a recent struggle with something, and you've overcome it, and somebody just mentions it. It makes you feel good. It's like, when a friend notices that, hey, that haircut looks great. Just even if it's just the smallest little bit of recognition, and congratulations on something, it does feel really nice. In your recent past is a Tower. So yeah, you might have been coming out of some learning situation, some kind of something that is seen maybe as a catastrophe. These towers are just big disruptions in our life for whatever reason. Some rude awakening that comes about, but towers are about learning, even though in the moment it's a delay or it's something that you're learning, it's like a test or facing some sort of diversity or challenge, that what those are there for really is for us to learn and to be better. And a lot of times it is really hard when you're in it to see it as something positive, because you're like, okay, everything's falling apart. How can this be positive? But many times weeks later, you're like, oh, that fell apart. There's a good reason for it, but now I need to change, and let me make those changes and make my life better. So you're kind of coming out of a period where you're kind of in cleanup mode from this tower moment that you've had. What is on your mind this week is some judgment. So judgment of someone else, judgment of yourself, just some sort of judgment that comes about. Judgment is about getting to some sort of truth. Typically, it's about coming to a new awareness about something. It's about evaluating. Again, you might be evaluating what was going on with this tower. What didn't work out. These are having those realizations like, oh, I see it now. I can see clearly that now that I'm out of it, a week or two, I can look back and say, oh, okay, well, here's the truth. Here's the things that I learned. But it is kind of, it's, you are judging, but you're also coming to this new awareness and you're learning. And that's really why we're all here. What is just ahead of you this week? It's a little bit of sleepless nights here with the Nine of Swords. So a little anxiety, and I'm sensing a little bit of fear um, as you're heading into this and trying to make those decisions. But don't be afraid. I feel like, again, everything is a learning experience. So you're definitely, I can see that you're going through something that you're learning, and it's very stressful. But you get there. It's just a part of life. It's something that we all get to go through. And if you're feeling a little anxious about something in that way, then go find a friend to talk to and blow off some steam, or just get that off your chest, because nobody wants to go through that kind of anxiety alone. But do think about the things that you're going to change so that this is not you next week, right? Let's make things a little bit less anxious for you. In your advice position is the Two of Swords. So yeah, you might be sitting in a place of indecision right now, and maybe it is about what you want, what you're about to change, or what you need to change for your future. And that's okay. If you need to think about it, it's okay this week to use that time to think about it. It may not come clear to you yet. You may be thinking so hard that it's keeping you up at night. So remember, we're also in that rest and healing mode. And so make sure you're doing some of that, and don't think too hard about it. Sometimes things will just come to you when they need to come to you. So maybe just let that happen for you this week. All right, what is beyond your control this week is the Moon card. So beyond your control will be something that comes to you. This is kind of things that come to us in that mysterious path of the night. Sometimes it's through a dream. And like I said, don't think about it too hard, because maybe it pops up in a dream, maybe in some sort of synchronicity, maybe in just a book that falls off the shelf that you need to read, or you hear something in a song that kind of inspires you. So, make sure that you're kind of, as you're resting and relaxing, you can kind of watch for those synchronicities. It might be a movie that pops on TV, or, something, a meme that pops up on your phone that kind of inspires you to know what your next step is. So kind of watch out for those. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid? Is the Nine of Wands here, which is definitely about looking back and sometimes that can cause anxiety too. Is it your secret desire to look back? Maybe, maybe not. Are you trying to avoid it? Also, maybe, maybe not. And it may be something that you do need to do. So if you're taking that time to look back, maybe just write out on a piece of paper, here's things that I've just gone through that I do feel wounded and that are kind of stressing me out now. And here are mistakes that I do not want to make again. And this could be anything with, maybe a relationship or a friendship or something that's work related. It could be any part of your life. Tarot can template, these energies template over many, many parts of different people's lives. It might be different for different Aquarians. So, if you're kind of looking back and thinking, hey, well, I made that mistake, obviously, or I did this thing, I'm not doing that again. Go ahead and write those things down and journal those things so that in the future when you're making decisions, oh, I'm not doing that. I said I wasn't going to do that thing again. Live and learn, right? In your outcome position is, look at you being happy and celebrating by the end of this week. So, I feel like you're kind of going through it, but make sure you are getting with some friends, some family, some people that that do make you feel better, because I feel like a lot of this is just kind of in your own head after whatever this tower, that you're doing some heavy thinking. So write a lot of that stuff out and make sure you're hanging out with friends and family that you can talk to as well. What is being hidden from you this week? Yeah, is the 10 of Pentacles, which is about kind of wealth, security, and this is really long-term thinking. I think we're just trying to get you through the short term right now, and find out again what is your next actual step. So we're not thinking about things long term. We're just thinking about the next week, weeks, maybe months, couple of months ahead, and what your next step should be. I want you to look up angel number 99. That might have some bearing and might be of some help to you since that is coming around. But you're very close to achieving your goal. And even if this goal is just getting through this week with a big smile on your face, you're close to achieving that. So let's do that for the week. Let's see a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Aquarius as they try to decide what their next step would be. Don't push the envelope. So yeah, make sure you're doing that rest and relaxation a little bit. Let's not push it too much. You can sit in a place of indecision also. It's okay to just think about things, and again, take some time to rest this week and just heal up from whatever you've just gone through with this tower. But that's okay. We all need to do that. All right, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Aquarius, December 14 through 20. The card you get is Success. Today is a really good day. You're in the flow. Problems are solved quickly and easily. Helpful people show up for you, and unexpected gifts fall into your lap. This looks like, the wrap up of your reading. So, success by the end of this week. I mean, I think if you're kind of going through it a little bit, just get through it. I think you're going to be fine by the end of the week. Some things seem a little heavier, like when you're in the moment and thinking about it so much. But let's distract yourself a little bit. Again, if you need to rest and heal, but you curl up on the couch for a little bit, watch a movie, just relax a little bit. Life, there's plenty of time for life to happen around you. So, all right, Aquarius, I wish you the best of luck with this. If you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below. Let me know, are you thinking of some new change that you need to do for the next few weeks ahead? And maybe what is that? Which area would you choose? Might be fun to compare those notes with different Aquarians to see, somehow differently everybody would choose that. So also, again, if you like my reading style, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. But most importantly, Aquarius, it'll help you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see if this energy continues or if there's something completely new here for you next time. So thank you so much for being here once again, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.